Uh, time to get extreme. Okay. So, Extreme Rules is going to be hosted in Philly this year, the home of Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW. For those of you who do not know, ECW is not just a promotion, but obviously one of the most revolutionary uh, forces in the history of wrestling. They were a Philadelphia-based promotion headed by the head of creative, Paul Heyman. But with 21 years removed from this extinction, and it's kind of crazy to think they've been, they folded as an independent organization 21 years ago. Who do you think is the most valuable talent that has been able to come out of ECW?
I'm so biased. When I think of ECW, if you think of people like RVD or whatnot, um, that's kind of hard for me. That's really
Hmm.
hard. Do you have one? I have to think on mine for a little bit.
I have a few because I feel like when we talk about, and I'll touch on this a little bit more. When we talk about ECW, for those of you who don't know, ECW has had a lot of talent go through its doors, from Dean Malenko to Eddie Guerrero to Rey Mysterio to the
Yeah,
Sandman,
Taz.
Tommy Dreamer,
I think
Rob Van Dam. But if we're talking about the most valuable talent that has ever come out of ECW, without a shadow of a doubt, it is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that for those of you who don't know, Stone Cold was in WCW prior to his ECW run. He, was a part of a couple of tag teams. One, famously being with Brian Pillman. I think they were called the Hollywood Blondes. However, the Stone Cold gimmick and his mic skills and his character was very much rooted in the work that he did in ECW. Paul Heyman really just gave him a mic and said, "Yo, anything that you feel about Eric Bischoff," because Eric Bischoff fired him via phone. He said, "Anything you feel about Eric, just fire off on this program," and he did that. And a lot of the authenticity that we see in Stone Cold Steve Austin is based in his days in ECW. The ability for him to just kind of like cut loose and do his thing. And I think that when we look at the different talents that come out of that organization, I think that Stone Cold was honestly easily the biggest draw that ECW has ever had, that has ever come out of ECW, that has worked for another major wrestling promotion like a WWE. And there are so many different influential talents that have come out of there, but I just think that when it comes to the biggest and the most valuable, definitely Stone Cold. Want to know
Can't
your
argue with
opinion?
that one.
Can't argue.
No, I really can't argue with that one. I can't. I mean, there's a lot of great people. I mean, you had like RVD, you had like Taz, or you know, Punk obviously was in there too. I mean, before Punk soured himself. I mean, duh,
Mm.
he was fucking awesome over there. He had people. He had insane people there like New Jack and stuff like that. There's a lot. There was a lot. There was a lot. Was Mick Foley in
Foley wasn't
ECW?
there. Foley
Yeah.
was in ECW.
Yeah, like you have a lot of legends in there, man. Just but if I did have to like give the crown to someone, I mean, yeah, like Stone Cold. I mean, he's only been there for a short amount of time, and look at his impact, man.
Mm.
Just one of the biggest fucking icons in the industry. So I can't even argue with that take you just gave.
Say less. Then we're moving on.